Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. In our pursuit to have different topics which would be relevant not only for the purposes of lawyers, students of law, professors associated with law directly or indirectly, but at least for the today's session, I can say it is close to the heart of every citizen because consumer invariably everybody becomes in day-to-day affairs. And the intent of formulation of the Consumer Protection Act was also with the intent that it becomes consumer friendly and more so with the intent that it should be decided efficaciously, and that too the invariably, like in a civil suit they say that to get a decree is easy, but to have the fruits of the decree it takes time. And we are lucky enough to have amongst us two judges from Punjab and Haryana High Court itself, Justice Paramjit Singh Dhaliwal and Justice R.S. Atri, who upon their superannuation have become president of Punjab Consumer Redressal Forum and UT Consumer Redressal Forum respectively. And the interesting facet of both the consumer forums under their AGs is that we have very less pendency of the case. And in fact, once you are on the respondent side, you feel that you are on the wrong side of the law. That is, you know that the case would be decided first at the first instance, the case would be decided fast. And thereafter, you don't get much window to get out even during the execution. The fruits of the judgment to the consumer is invariably got very fast. And secondly, once you are on the respondent side, more so as we have seen of late, that the cases against the builders have shot up like anything. But the builders also know that at the most they are on a ventilator, but be that as it may, whatever is the situation, they would have to give the money in pursuance to the orders passed by the Consumer Forum. As we said that the Beyond Law CLC, which was an idea conceived during the lockdown, we have been bringing speakers who have immense knowledge, and large number of the speakers have been judges from Supreme Court, different high courts, and it gives us happiness to share this aspect that judges not only from Punjab and Haryana High Court, Bombay, Calcutta, Kerala, Madras, we have got the speakers from that side. And the participants have been taking up the issues dealt with by the speakers with their own insights, which speaks that the viewership not only on the Facebook as well as on other platforms, including the YouTube, has increased because people know that the speakers will share their knowledge. Since Consumer Protection Act has different forums, District Consumer Forum, State Forum, National Forum, and then Supreme Court. And we have two speakers. Broadly, the module of today's webinar would be Justice Paramjit Singh Dhaliwal would be giving us the insights of the Consumer Protection Act, and Justice Rajshekhar Atri would be giving us the insights of the execution. And thereafter, approximately around 5 p.m., you can post the questions which the honorable judges and the keynote speakers have kindly agreed to share their knowledge, what is the way out. And with their knowledge as to how the execution would go or how the complaint is to be filed, since we have participants who are not only lawyers, but some consumers as such itself, and they would like to know what is the way forward of filing the complaint, what are the remedies, etc., etc. Not taking much time, I will request Justice Paramjit Singh Dhaliwal to give his insights. We all know that when he was a judge of the Punjab Haryana High Court, at that particular point of time also, the cases were not being admitted, but they were decided. And same as in the Punjab State Consumer Redressal Forum. I was just having a data with me, which is on the Confonet easily available. The pendency is negligible as vis-a-vis if we compare to the other platforms, not platforms, the other courts, other forums, other tribunals. So it actually goes in both the forums, that is UT as well as Punjab, that people are sure that what relief they wanted is redressed at the first instance at the earliest. Over to you, Justice Paramjit Singh Dhaliwal.
Good afternoon, everybody. I have been asked by Mr. Vikas to address on the topic of Consumer Protection Act. The day one we come to this world, we become consumers. Everybody is a consumer in the present scenario. We will have to look into the welfare of the consumer and how to safeguard their interest under the provisions of the law. That is the CP Act, which is known as Consumer Protection Act. First of all, I would like to tell you earlier the Sales of Goods Act, which was the prevalent with some other acts also. The principle was the buyer beware. Who will have purchased the thing, he must know whether there is a defect or not. This was the principle, but which was known as caveat emptor. Now the principle has changed. Principle is, the present day principle is caveat vendator. It means the person who is selling the things, he must be aware that as per the act, he will have to be cautious. He will have to look into the defects and everything. Nothing is given to any person which is defective or there is unfair trade practice like so on, etc. If we look at the provisions of the act, this act has provided a specific mechanism for redressal of the consumers. The grievance of the consumers are addressed at the district level by the district consumer district forums, at the state level, which also hear the appeal against the district forums, and the national level, which also hear the appeals against the order passed by the State Commission and also have the original jurisdiction. The jurisdiction of the State Commission of the district forum is up to 20 lakh. And there is presently the court fee is negligible. Up to 5 lakh, there is no court fee. Thereafter, there is a court fee which ranges into 200 to 400 up to 20 lakhs. Similarly, in State Commission, the cases which are original complaints are filed, they come up to 20 lakh and up to 1 crore. From 1 crore to no limit, we are before the National Commission. Now, what we have to see, how the complaint is filed, this being a summary procedure, in so far as this state of Punjab is concerned, earlier there was a lengthy procedure just like civil courts. As and when I taken over charge of the State Commission, I amended the procedure. I passed an order that every complaint must be accompanied by entire evidence. Similarly, the reply should also be accompanied by the entire evidence of the party and a limited rejoinder. Whatever new points are raised in this manner, 2.5 month time was earlier. There were used to be 2-3 opportunities for leading evidence, etc. For that reason, we have been able to bring down the pendency. Earlier, when I joined, the pendency was even of 2007-6. Even some of the cases were of remand cases were of 1999. So I thought it appropriate that procedure should be cut down because it is a summary proceeding and should be decided at least within 90 days after the service at least. So is done by my bench, particularly my bench, and the commission also, the other benches also. So far as this is the procedure which I say that is the shortest possible. In this manner, the councils can do this. Another thing which nowadays, due to the COVID, I am following, that is there is a provision that instead of council coming to the commission or district fora, they can file their written argument. Regulation 2005 13 to specifically state wherever the parties are represented by the council, they must file their written arguments. This is a mandatory provision. I will request all the councils that this is a mandatory provision. It will save. They will not feel that the unnecessary footfall in the commission, district fora, and we can avoid all this pandemic. COVID-19 pandemic is there. So this is my request for that also. Other thing which would like to say, everybody knows the procedure, general procedure which is being followed. Everybody knows the section under which, up to which section district forums are here, the procedure is prescribed. Same is the state commission, same is I need not repeat it because majority of the participants are advocates and they have vast experience also. I would like to inform you the majority of the litigation in the state commission and district fora. Number one is the builders, real estate litigation. Though some of the cases are being filed in the RERA, newly created provisions of law, but the remedy under the commission, under the consumer protection is the additional remedies under section 3. Similarly, you will have to look into another provision because earlier they generally other party used to take the plea of arbitration, that it bars this. Now the Supreme Court has already settled this issue that there is no bar. Once the arbitration proceedings, you are taking the plea, and once the complaint is filed under the CP Act, then the arbitration will not bar to proceed in that proceedings. However, there is one rider. If prior to filing the proceedings before the district fora, the parties have already availed the remedies and any other provisions of law, maybe arbitration, maybe any other provision, maybe a civil suit, then the remedy under the Consumer Act is barred because there cannot be multiple jurisdiction for one particular relief. This is what it is said like that. Even the matter has been settled. Now I would like to tell you some of the provisions which are necessary. We go by the definition. We will have to look into the complainant. Definition under section 2(1) are given. Complainant, complaint, defect, service, deficiency, person, and unfair trade practice. There is one more thing which you have to look into when you are looking into the definition of consumer. Consumer is defined in section 2. O it is 1I and 2I. There is an explanation given to that, which is very material. Majority of the complaints are filed mentioning all the commercial nature of properties, but nobody mention about the contents as mentioned in the explanation. To get out of the problem that the matter comes before the fora and can be dealt like that, they must write down that whatever he is doing, that is now the activity is commercial, it is for the purpose of earning livelihood exclusively by way of self-employment. This is a common mistake which is done while filing the complaints. Many a time they are to be withdrawn and filed fresh after doing the needful. Who can make a complaint? Who can file a complaint? there are 5 persons which is defined in the act that who can file a complaint. Any consumer, any registered CVO, consumer voluntary organizations, oh, they can file the complaints. Central or the state government can file the complaint. Any one or more than one, which is known as a class action, they can also file the complaint. Thirdly, where the actually beneficiary who consumer has died, then their legal heirs have a right to file the complaints. The jurisdiction I have already told, pecuniary jurisdiction, I have explained this. These are the jurisdictions. Now there is a question with regard to the territorial jurisdictions. Territorial jurisdiction is an issue in the present day scenario. Because of this e-commerce activities, I will tell about the limitation one by one. I am telling. So far as the limit jurisdiction is concerned, jurisdiction is determined where the part of cause of action arose or where the opposite party resides. In case of e-commerce, issue becomes where the territorial jurisdiction should be considered. So far as the judgments are there, if you are purchasing by email, then where email is received, where you are purchasing through Amazon, Snapdeal and other sources, then the jurisdiction where you get the articles, that has been taken care. But the new act, this part has also been taken care that anyone can file a complaint anywhere. So far as the complaint is limitation of filing the complaint is concerned, it is 2 years from the date of purchase. But there is a specific provision, section 24A, where even after 2 years, complaint can be filed, provided you show a sufficient cause for the same. Delay can be condoned for filing the complaints. So far as the limitation for filing appeals is concerned, it is 30 days in all cases. In all cases, the appeal is 30 days from the district forum to state commission, 30 days from the receipt of copy. Similarly, from against the order of the state commission to national commission, 30 days from the receipt of certified copy of the order. Now, another thing which we will have to look into, which is the difficulty that is regarding the execution. We are depending upon the execution on the police authorities under section 27. Brother will explain in detail, but since I have been asked to give a broad idea of the entire act, I would like to share with this. 27, we send summons, bailable brunts, non-bailable brunt, ultimately declare proclaimed offender. Difficulty is that the builders are, so far as the consumer is concerned, he is just like a poor man. He had already spent a lot of money for the purchase of property and left with nothing. Builders have their say. The order, the brunts, summons are not generally executed. Because of the police, they make some arrangement with police and they avoid all these services and etc. So far as 25 is concerned, we are dependent upon the district collectors. We send the notices, recovery certificates, it remains as it is. But generally they say that there is a confusion regarding the property. For that reason, we have annexed the even documents also, title, document of title, which yes, the council degree holders that give that. Even then they will raise some objection, this and that. We try to justify that this is not possible. Then at the end, if everything is there, then they raise the objection, no one is coming for purchase. Then there is another provision, degree holder can move an application and he can purchase himself the such properties. This is the procedure which generally we follow. So far as there are a lot of the judgments nowadays. Supreme Court has almost settled all the issues. So I will take one by one, which firstly the real estate part. I will give the list of judgment to Mr. Vikas. He will display to everybody and he may put on some social media for that purpose with some briefs for which these are applicable. So far as the real estate is concerned, the broad idea is now the Supreme Court has settled. If there is a delay of more than one year in delivery of possession, then builder cannot force the purchaser or lottee that he must get the possession. He can ask for refund. Under the Punjab Act, there is a PAPDA. Under that, the rules have been framed. Provision is for 12% interest, which is nowhere. This is a statutory provision. Even this National Commission is nowadays upholding the same because of the statutory provision. Similarly, there is another issue which is with regard to the insurances. Insurances documents are stereotype type documents. It is difficult to read with the common eye, with the ordinary eye, but it requires magnifying glass to find out what is written in this. I, as a judge, state that I have taken number of policies many times for myself and family member, but we never read those clauses. Ifs and buts and exclusion clauses are very damaging for the consumers. In my most of the judgments, I have already given that unless the conditions are brought to the notice of the person who purchases the policy, the such exclusion clauses cannot be taken. Now even the Supreme Court has started saying that clauses should be clear for the said purposes, and one must be made aware that these are the exclusion clauses. Another case is where with regard to which we are facing abroad, person traveling abroad. When the people are traveling abroad, they get the insurance policy from this place. One, fortunately or unfortunately, something happens outside the country. If the man may not be having the sufficient amount, insurance never pay. They say this is a cashless policy. Just inform them, they will pay to the concerned. I have decided, my bench has decided many such cases where people have faced such a difficulty. Generally, there is the objection that there is a pre-existing disease. My view in this regard is, once you are taking the medical before issuing a policy, where is the question of the pre-existing disease? Pre-existing concealment, there may be concealment. Some of the cases are there. Anything can be said and done. Even the insurance agent does not disclose everything. My suggestion is that such things should be recorded. Not everything is available. When you are explaining about a policy, agent must explain to the purchaser of the policy, the person insured, that these are the consequences. And you can be excluded from payment if you do not comply with this. Actually, in practical, what happens? All the forms of the insurance are filled by the insurance agents. They tick it. Nobody inquires. Why not there should be a specific provision where the specific column should be there that these have been specifically explained in the language known to the person. Because forms are in English, people may be knowing Tamil, may be knowing Kannada, maybe Punjabi, maybe Hindi. So they must be in the shape of language known to the person. Similarly, is the medical negligence. Medical negligence is the third largest litigation in Punjab state, specifically the corporate sector. My view was that the whatever doctor decides, it is fine and no one can be held negligent for that reason. But now number of judgments have come. Even the earlier judgment of volume test has been varied by the UK government and this UK High Court and the Supreme Court. Now the law is well settled that everything should be explained. Even there is a statutory provisions under the provisions of the medical negligence for the purpose of medical negligence. That is the MCI Medical Regulation 2002, where they have specifically defined that you must explain about the provisions and must explain what are the consequences, what are the possible complications. I should continue, Mr. Vikas, or now that's all?
Continue. No, sir. As long as people are understanding, the questions will automatically come less because they are able to understand the concept. And I don't think that anybody can have a much better capsule than that. Capsules immediately give relief the same way you are giving the relief of the entire gamut of the consumer law.
Okay. So in these circumstances, we will have to look into these aspects. Now there are another type of cases which are general in nature. I was dealing with a case that was relating to purchase from the Amazon, through Amazon marketplace issue, which is the marketplace. The liability of the Amazon is there or not. What happened? A person purchased a laptop. When he received, it was having the pieces of marble only. Then issue arose whether the article which was sent by the Amazon was in fact a laptop or it has happened in between. Who will be responsible? I passed a long judgment because there were not much judgments earlier, mentioning how the Amazon is liable, it being an intermediary. I have held the Amazon liable. Then some of the other cases, they came before me also. Then I asked what you have done. We are accepting your judgment and we are following. In that judgment I have held, when there is a delivery, then it should be recorded. And the consumer should have a right to open it then and there and to find out what is inside. Now they are saying that after 10 days you can always do. But once this dispute arises that the article was something else, whatever was called for. In these circumstances, we'll have to look into, we should be innovative also. This is the court should, and counsels specifically representing the complainant should be innovative and suggest the new methods, and the possible outcome may be best in the interest of consumers. Another issue is people are filing, common consumers are filing complaints, and they are not very well versed in filing the complaint. They simply write few things and do not annex. There are specific rights given under the Act. There are 6 rights, everybody knows: choice, safety. These are the 6 rights. Firstly, right to safety, right to information, right to choice, right to be heard, and right to seek redressal, and the consumer education. Earlier can be by the advocates. So far as the last right is concerned, there is a lack of consumer education. I was reading a study 75% of the litigation come from the urban area. India resides in villages. The litigation from rural area is only 24 point something percent. It means there is no awareness. Neither government is making awareness, nor the general public is making awareness. My suggestion for this purpose is so that maximum benefit we can be taken from the provisions of the act. There should be club in every school and college. We are nowadays in Punjab, at least in every village there is a high school or middle school. There can be a club for the purpose of consumer club, which can be said for so that children may know about this and tell their parents. Responsibility on the part of consumers also. When they are purchasing, they must ask for bill. Generally, what happens, they say that if you are taking a bill, then you will have to pay 17% sales tax, 28% cess, etc. They said 1/4 more price is to be paid by you. To avoid this, they take the articles. Resultantly, when they file the case, they fail. Many a time, even no receipt is issued for the purchase. No receipt is issued. This is the responsibility. Unless you make aware the consumer, specifically the rural area peoples, we will not be in a position to get more benefit. I will suggest that I am always ready that if some programs can be initiated by the learned councils for this purpose and seminars can be organized in villages, at least nearby their towns and place of practice, it will help at least to some of the villagers who will actually majority of the consumers are of the goods which are adulterated seeds resulting into loss of crop. Type of litigation can be much more. It will help both the councils and the general public also. Then I am hearing this should be this rather it will be much better in foreign countries. This is one of the subject, consumerism. It can be added to the school and colleges, at least one small paper. Earlier there used to be some religious studies paper subject. Similarly, this consumer and miscellaneous type of subject can be added in the, this is the answer to the question which I was finding on the, finding
That is
before
by
me.
Himanshu Kanda. So that is by Himanshu Kanda.
I missed Mr. Ashokanda has raised this question. This is a very good suggestion. And I'm of the view that it must be there. Fundamentals, at least you start from the 10th, 11th and plus 2 and then colleges level. This can be added. And it will be helpful also. The latest judgment which I was talking about, the 1 year possession is delayed of more than 1 year. That is the Puma letters by the Supreme Court, where they have specifically held that the possession is delayed, then they can always ask for refund. Another thing which you will have to look into. This act is not applicable only to the government or the private or shopkeepers. It is applicable to the public, private and the cooperative sector also. Nowadays, we are also getting the cases from the cooperative societies. People are depositing in the cooperative society their money. They are shareholders. Cooperative societies also acting, doing the business of builders, allotting the housings, and they are also covered. Earlier they said since this dispute is under the particular Punjab Cooperative Societies Act or the Multiple Cooperative Societies Act, then the jurisdiction is barred. But it being an additional remedy under Section 3, we can cover all these aspects also. Cooperative society matters are also covered under, except where the issue of election intricacy between the members and is concerned. For where the actual purpose of the deposit, allotment of plot, then they are covered under the Consumer Act also. Another thing which we'll have to look into is the present day problem which may arise more and more. These are only with regard to the online purchase. Online purchase, how we will have to determine the jurisdiction which are being complicated, because this nowadays it is becoming difficult to find out the jurisdiction. Then we will have to go by the provisions of the Technology Act. Information technology you will have to look into. Look, I am not expert in the computer, but suppose I am using my computer. It has a particular IP address. I am sending it to particular place where the computer receives the same. That is the platform, marketplace, that Amazon, Snapdeal. They further lay under the IP address to the person who is the actual supplier. Thereafter, from that supplier, it does not come directly to us. It comes through Amazon again. Hence, the link is ultimately place of filing the complaint comes to the person where you ultimately receive the articles. This which we have concluded, and Eriberry versus case has been decided. Eriberry versus SpiceJet, and upheld up to the Supreme Court. This was decided by the State Commission. And now it would be better if I can only answer the questions. It will be much more better, because I may be missing some of the subjects which our person may be having in their mind who are the participating in this.
So that's true. But first we will take a request, Honorable Mr. Justice R.S. Attri, to give the insights of Section 25 and 27, and then though the questions already I've already received three questions on the Facebook also. So I request Mr. Justice Attri to give the insights on the execution, as we had informed the participants that the overall scope, etc., would be explained by Justice Dhaliwal, and the execution part will be dealt by Justice Attri. And thereafter, the questions which are being posted or which would be posted, we will be taking up with both the speakers. Over to you, Justice Attri. Justice Attri? Rashmi. So meanwhile, I will take. Okay.
I have been muted by somebody.
Oh, sir, right, sir. You can. It's audible.
I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Audible.
Thank you, Mr. Vikas Chhattar. And I'm also thankful to my brother Justice P.S. Dhaliwal for giving a exhaustive overview of the statute and other provisions thereto. In fact, the developed countries already have a mechanism to tackle the consumer problems, but we have never recognized them. Even only the hallmark day on 9th April 1985, when the United Nations General Assembly adopted the resolution to protect the rights of the consumers, and subsequently the statute of 1986 Consumer Protection Act came into existence. This act is a self-contained, and I can say that it covers mainly all matters. The Supreme Court, in a famous judgment in Dr. J.J. Merchant versus Srinath Chaturvedi, has already held that the State Consumer Commission, the National Consumer Commission are competent to discuss and decide the complicated, intricate questions of law and facts. And this process is going on. We know that earlier under the civil courts, the process was highly expensive, time consuming, and also tardy, tortuous. But we have highly speedy, less expensive, and a very effective and highly effective mechanism, especially the execution process. I will quote two provisions. The first 25 and second one 27. 25 is generally of civil nature. It relates to all orders. Firstly, the first part relates to the interim orders, and second part to all kind of orders. The first part stress upon the attachment of the property of the judgment debtor or the opposite party. If he does not pay, then we have a remedy to order the sale and also to send a recovery certificate to the collector of the district to recover the execution amount as a decree of the civil court and also as a land revenue. This process is also helpful, but in spite of that, the wrongdoers, the judgment debtors are not owing the same. Thereafter, we have a wonderful and a rare provision. This is 27, I can say, the kingpin of the consumer jurisdiction. This provision has been declared constitutionally valid by Honorable Supreme Court in state of Karnataka versus Paramjit Singh. Similarly, the previous provision I quoted earlier, 25, has also been declared constitutionally valid. Under 27, the consumer fora have been given powers of a judicial magistrate first class. They have given power to try and to punish the judgment debtor who omits or to fails to comply with. We know law never remains static. It changes as per the needs of the society. The initial judgments were given that only you have to give a reasonable opportunity of being heard, a notice to be given to them, to the judgment debtors, to obey the order. The plain language says if the judgment debtor or the complaint fails or omits to comply with the order made by the consumer fora, that may be district form, state commission, or national commission. These are sufficient compliance if he fails or to omits to comply with the order. It contained the imprisonment which shall not be less than 1 month, but which may extend to 3 years, or with fine which shall not be less than 2,000 rupees, but which may extend to 10,000 rupees, or with both. No question arises under what trial, what procedure he be convicted. Under section 4 of the Code of Criminal Procedure CRPC, it is provided that all the offences, though under IPC or under any statutory or special statute, be tried under the Act, unless tried, investigated, unless a specific provision has been provided in the statute. We will agree that no specific provision has been given to undergo trial. Therefore, in the recent judgment in Dinesh Kumar Rastogi versus Unitech, the recent judgment of the larger bench, it says that he be tried as a offender under 200 CRPC in a complaint case. He be given a notice, substance of accusation. Then, if he pleads guilty, he may be convicted at that spot. If he pleads not guilty, then evidence be collected. In his presence, he be given opportunity of cross-examining, and then other procedure. Ultimately, after recording his statement under Provision Section 1313, he may be held on question of sentence and be convicted. That means we have to follow the same process as contained under CRPC as a trial of a complaint case. In this matter, though it will take some time, yet this is a rare provision which can compel the judgment debtor to make the payment of the digital amount. I must say that judgment debtors generally are avoiding to making the payment. Generally, we have digital orders where money has to pay, but they are not paying, even after attachment, even making other provisions. Therefore, in my mind, this is the best procedure, having stringent methodology to compel the judgment debtor to make the payment of the consumer of the decree holder. Any question?
So we have the questions. I will be posting the questions along with the names, and we would say that those who have logged in by the mobile name, but it's better that you should log in by your own name so that the name could be read out and it becomes convenient. So I will take from the first question. This is by Krishan Sivaraman. Since we have the participants pan India, so it enriches what Justice Dhaliwal said, that we should educate through seminars. I say seminars would only restrict to a particular level, but with the webinar, as it's apparent from the Facebook as well as on the platform, that we have participants pan India. So this is by Kailash. What is your view regarding the delay intimation of the claim to the insurance company?
Yes. The latest judgment of the Supreme Court on the subject is, if there is a delay must be taken into consideration. How much delay? Suppose if a person dies for one reason or the other, and LRs are not even aware whether he was holding a policy, they can lodge a claim with the insurance company, giving explanation for that this was the reason. This has been traced out while they were going through the various papers. Otherwise also, the period given in the policy is very less. Less means 10 days, 15 days. The person remains in grief for many days. A young person dies who may be an insured person, then such delay is not material. At least I have given many judgments. That delay is not material because it's a hyper-technical objection.
Now it's by Deepak. What question was posted? The first question, Deepak says, what is the limitation in case of refund if the builder does not give the possession?
No, limitation depends upon the facts of the case. When you are entering into a buyer's agreement, there is a specific condition in it that the possession will be delivered within 3 months, 3 years, 36 months, 42 months. This is specified there. Now, in view of the Supreme Court, it says if the delay is more than 1 year after the stipulated date, you will have to look into this aspect, stipulated date in your agreement. Then you can ask for refund. The builder cannot compel you that you must take the possession.
Okay, sir. This is by
Vikas, I want to add also.
Yes, sir, you can always add.
Justice Dhaliwal has beautifully explained the same. But it is a continuing offense. It is a continuing cause of action. If he does not deliver the possession, the limitation does not arise. By this view has been supported by the judgment of the Supreme Court in Lata Construction and Dr. Ramesh Chandra Ramaniki Shah. That was a judgment of 1999.
Right.
It says that
Yes.
unless the possession is delivered, the consumer has a cause of action which is continuing one. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we would also request, like what Justice Dhaliwal said, kindly share the judgments. We will share it in the groups. I will take the compendium from Rashmi.
I will
Krishan.
we will
Krishnan.
take a list
He
of
said-
judgments in all the subjects.
Yes.
Yes.
That will be a compendium. So this is by Krishnan. During this pandemic, many private institutions are taking online classes for GMAT, GRE, etc., and charging huge money, and 100% money is paid in advance. However, if the quality of education is / teaching is not up to the mark, and if they do not appoint experienced teacher, can we sue them under the Consumer Protection Act, as the service is availed and the quantum of quality cannot be assessed as such?
Yes, it can be. In my opinion, it can be, because
Yes.
the latest judgment given by the National Commission, which is a larger bench, only the exempted are the institutions which are imparting education and recognized. Private institutions which are providing online, they are covered under the consumers. It has been specifically mentioned. Now the question arises that can the government institution which are not providing proper education, this issue can also be examined if we look into the judgment of the Supreme Court in the medical negligence cases, where the government hospitals were exempted from the provisions of the Consumer Act. But subsequently, Supreme Court said, if there is negligence on their part, this is also covered under the provisions of the Consumer Act.
This question can be answered probably by Justice Athre, because primarily he said, though you can also answer. Rahul asks, my question is regarding the filing of execution.
Yes.
Is there any prescriptivity between section 25 and 27, under which provision the same can be filed? And I go a step further, in which, according to him, it should be in section 25, and which can be taken up in 27.
Yes. Generally, the decree holder file the application either 25 or 27, or they can conjointly file under both the sections. This is their discussion. But in case, in view of the Rastogi judgment I have referred earlier, they want to pursue the penal and stringent provisions. They have to treat it as a complaint. That means they have to file some affidavit to make a prima facie case for the summoning. They have to lead some evidence so that we may summon. They may specifically mention that it be treated as a complaint.
Right.
Shape of a complaint.
One I will like to add here,
Yes.
if there is a decree, the purpose of section 20 is only punishment which is different from section 25(3). 25(3) specifically enforced by as a selling the property and other things. This is my opinion. 27 is a punishment provision. 25(3) is an additional provision, that is a separate provision. It means decree holder have both the remedies. 27 says for non-compliance, you can always be punished. 25 says that even if punishment is there, still you can be hauled up under section 25(3), and recovery can be made by selling your property and other things.
Yes, both are additional pleas.
Independently, they act independently.
Udip asks, Keeping in view the latest judgment of the Honorable National Commission, that is on 6th of July, in Vinod Khanna versus RG Stone Urology and Laparoscopic Hospital, with regard to the consent for treatment in hospital, what should be the criterion for considering as an informed consent? What should be the format? Tailor-made consent is valid, or it has to be a handwritten consent?
No, this is a tailor-made consent is not valid, in my opinion. I have examined the issue in number of cases, almost 70 judgments on medical negligence side. There are only 3 situations where the consent is can be treated as a valid. Where the person is in acute emergency and he approaches the doctor and there is no provision, there is no time to getting the consent of the person or their attendants. Second, person is in a position that he does not understand, say the retarded person has mentally some issues. That person cannot give a valid consent. In those cases, this can be done. But where the persons are adult and they are in a position to give consent, firstly, the consent should be of the patient. Another issue, this is also now a statutory provision, where the lady is involved and the consent of her husband is also necessary, because if it will, the surgery or anything which they are going to perform, that the procedure they are going to perform will turn her sterile, then it is also mandatory, the consent of the husband is mandatory. The question regarding the stereotype performer, the consent must be given by the surgeon, or under his instruction, his junior must record the consent and sign it. But this is common that the surgeon who performed the surgery never fill the consent form. It is generally filled by some nurses and others. Because the person who has actually given the advice, he must sign it and fill it.
Mr. Vikas,
Yes, sir.
I want to add, I'm fully agree with my brother, but I want to add a few words in the answer given by him. The basic purpose is the welfare, the safety of the life of the patient. Suppose the patient is in such a condition, he is under tremendous pain or unable to give consent, or due to any disability, physical or other, then in such situation, the consent may be obtained from other sources. But it is a question of fact. Whether consent be given, whether consent is a valid or a tailor-made consent be given. I must add that it depends upon the circumstances of the and the position. For example, a patient has been asked to come tomorrow for your surgical operation. Consent has already given a day earlier by his friend or relative. Patient comes again tomorrow. Then it will infer that he also accepts the consent. He also acknowledges the consent given by his friend or relative. This is my opinion. Thank you.
This is by
Mr. Vikas,
yes,
another thing I want to add.
Yes, sir.
Consent is required at every time when some procedure is performed now. Now their judgments are there because there is a case. There was third time surgery of a person who went for knee replacement. Consent, now the law has been settled. Consent is required at every stage, not once. And the doctor must explain why he is going for second surgery, third surgery. In the Ortho Nova case, I have given a judgment in this regard because the lady had to suffer surgery thrice. First surgery failed, then debridement, replacing that spacer was added. Then there was a pus also. Another surgery was done. Ultimately, she died, and because the reason for such sentence on every stage is because the complication may lead to fatal consequences.
So this question is by Mr. Nitin Mithu. He says, though I can add, he says, what can be the role of the president, that is yourself, in defining the continuous working of consumer forums in the state, especially where in certain consumer forums, there are no members in the consumer forum and the cases are still languishing. I go a step further. Can it be done through online that some other consumer forum, district consumer forum is given the rights so that the matters are decided?
There is a provision in the act that we can depute a person from the other district forums to a forum. But when so far as the Punjab is concerned, virtually Punjab is blank. All the stations are, there is no president, only presently 4 out of 20. There is deficiency of members also. Though we make recommendations, it takes time at the government level many a time. I made in December. Now it is July, still the postings are to be done.
And unfortunately, this COVID-19 has also, whatever it could have done. Sir, I take a step forward, speaking for all persons. If it could be done through let's assume the powers are being given, it can be done through the online process, that other forum can take the matters of those issues. If it can be scanned and those matters can be taken up.
Yes, it is just possible. Now we are even Supreme Court, High Courts, and District Courts, and the subordinate courts are taking virtual hearings.
Yes.
But provided you will have to provide infrastructure at every level.
That's true.
Unless we have infrastructure. Look at our case. In our commission, we are not having sufficient infrastructure. Even our connection speed is less than 1 Mbps. Minimum 4 Mbps is required for the purpose of virtual court. Infrastructure is more important.
So, yes, sir. These are the challenges which have come forth, because initially nobody thought. In one of the webinars, we had Justice Mushtaq Muhammad from the Kerala High Court, who looks after these. He's in charge of the computer section. He said that we had thought that whatever infrastructure we will do, that will be for the purposes of video conferencing, etc. But we never thought it will be for the purposes of virtual courts. So this question is by Anumita. She says, my question is, a person took a housing loan from bank A for 9 lakhs. His loan is covered by an insurer B. It is a sister concern of A bank. Thereafter, A transferred his loan for top up with another bank called C for 15 lakhs. That is, additionally, he got 6 lakhs from C bank. However, his top up amount is not insured by C bank. After 3 years, then his HL due to housing loan due was around 13 lakhs. A dies, B insurance will release 6 lakhs only. My question is whether C bank is duty bound to cover their loan account under the insurance. What is the remedy available to the legal heirs of A in such a situation?
No, if the C bank, there is no insurance accepted, no premium is paid to the sister concern which insured the loan, then C bank is not liable.
Yes.
This is by Dheeraj Mahajan. He's posted this question on the Facebook. He says, although the act is complete code in itself, however, kindly guide us about the fact that their jurisdiction of the High Court under 226 has been taken away or not?
Yes, taken away. The writ jurisdiction has been taken away of the High Court because we have already a mechanism of appeals.
May I add, Mr.
Yes, brother.
226 is altogether excluded. There is a Supreme Court judgment. However, under Article 227, being a supervisory jurisdiction, they can look into but to a limited extent. Our Supreme Court has given a judgment. All the tribunals are under the supervisory jurisdiction under 227 of the High Court.
Nikunj Dhawan, he has posted this question on the Facebook. He says, can Consumer Court grant time beyond 45 days to file reply under the Consumer Protection Act?
No, now Supreme Court judgment has come. The Supreme Court, earlier there was a judgment by Justice Adarsh Goel in Reliance matter that period can be extended. But the matter was referred to a larger bench. Now larger bench has answered. District, forum, state commission or the national commission has no power to extend the period.
Yes.
So Sanjeev Goel is the advocate from Punjab Haryana High Court itself. He says, in medical negligence cases, it's very difficult to get expert opinion for poor consumer, as doctors invariably do not depose against their fellow doctors. Then what is the remedy for such poor consumers to prove their case?
We are not all, the Supreme Court has given judgments. In all the cases, of expert opinion is not necessary. It is a common that the judges, that the doctors do not give the opinion against the brother doctor. Board is constituted. Even if there is a negligence, they will not. They will say there is no obvious negligence. Then the court will have to draw inference from the medical evidence brought on record. What is the probable relief which can be granted to the consumer? And the council must assist in this regard. They can consult their own doctor and prove it by giving reasoning that the report is given by the expert committee, but it is not clear. It cannot be taken into consideration for the reason because they have not discussed the entire evidence, medical evidence.
Mr. Chitra, I want to add here.
Yes, sir.
It can't be inferred. It cannot be taken as a true that medical boards don't go against the opinion given by the doctors, the wrongdoer doctors who are before us. We have seen the cases where they have given opinion against the opinion of the doctor who is facing a proceeding before us. Apart from it, opinion is opinion, not an evidence. We not to follow blindly to the opinion. We have to see other evidence and other circumstances. Thanks.
So the point has been well explained by you that the judges have got good powers to use the doctrine of lifting of veil in this sense, and they can see the evidence from the shop. It says, Vansh Malhotra says, there are many insurance companies who don't get the person medically examined and sell the policy by saying that all the diseases are covered from the day of buying of the policy. But they always have a clause of pre-existing disease and repudiates the claim invariably. So how can this person prove that it is not a pre-existing as there was no medical test done at that stage?
If they are not doing, then they should suffer for this. And for proving the pre-existing, they must bring the sufficient evidence for that purpose.
The insurance company.
Insurance company must, or this is the burden is on the insurance company, not upon the insured.
So this is by Amandeep Singh Nirman. He says, he has posted the question privately on the chat box. He says, can Resident Welfare Association approach the Consumer Court against the builder? Will the jurisdiction be decided as per Amrish Shukla's case in respect of deficiency in maintenance?
As on date, it will be decided as per the Amrish Shukla. And the specific question which they have raised, this is specifically mentioned in the complaint. Who can be the complainant? If the welfare society is registered, only then they can.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
When you read the definition of complainant, it is mentioned who can file the complaint. Consumer, they can only file under the another head as a class action.
So this is by Deepak. He says if the consumer gets a refund from the builder under protest, then can a complaint simpliciter lie against for the purpose of interest as well as damages? And what are the pecuniary limit according to the value of plot or according to the amount of interest in such a case?
No, when we will be determining as on date in the Ambrish Shukla, the total value of the plot is also taken into consideration for that purpose. It is as on date, the only interest and other things cannot be taken into consideration for determining the pecuniary jurisdiction. Ambrish Shukla says the value of the goods and compensation. And this section also says so. Compensation includes interest.
Interest includes compensation. Yes.
Yes.
So this is by Sanjeev Gupta, and more specifically, it is pinpointed towards, not pinpointed, it's a question and a request to Justice Atri. He says, my request to Honorable Justice Atri is for restoring the hearing of cases through video conferencing. If that is not possible, then what is the mechanism for directing the opposite parties to file their reply within the time frame as enshrined under the Act? The opposite is trying to take shelter of the pandemic, and ultimately the consumer is suffering.
We have already stored through email, even through WhatsApp. Replies are being filed.
I think that Mr. Gupta will do. Advocate Karan, he asks, can you please once again explain the territorial jurisdiction under the Act?
Territorial jurisdiction under the Act is very simple. Firstly, where the opposite party or any of the opposite party resides or works for gain, or they have a branch office, or any cause of action has been accrued. For example, you booked a plot in a company whose head office is at Delhi or anywhere in India, but they have a branch office in Chandigarh. You may file a complaint at Chandigarh. Or a cause of action has been accrued here. Agreement through email have been, or through any other mode of transmission have been concluded at Chandigarh, though plot at Delhi. You may file here. Firstly, where the opposite party resides, any of the opposite party resides. Secondly, they have a branch office. Thirdly, the cause of action or part of cause of action has been accrued. The three tests are there. Thank you.
So this is by Sandeep Bhardwaj. In execution proceedings, the company appear through lawyer, but directors doesn't appear.
Yes.
Can the lawyer be directed to disclose the assets whereabout of the director by getting one form, company officials, as companies very much appear aware about its authorized signatory?
Yes. The counsel has the power. He's a representative of the company. He's the attorney of the company. He can furnish a list of the properties which can be attached. We also issue notes to the directors. Sometimes they can't be executed. They are not available. They change their addresses. But directors can also summon if they are implicated, if their names have been disclosed. Yes.
This is by Kailash. Is there any provision under the present Act for amendment of the reply, and what the insured can do if his policy comes under the group policy, but now the company has closed the benefits of group policy?
We generally allow the amendment if it depends upon the nature of the amendment. They can't take the new stand. They can't divert from the basic stand.
No,
So primarily according to your Order 6, Rule 17's principles would guide, or there's something different in the Consumer Protection Act?
May I add to this, Mr.
Yes.
Vast and Mr. What Mr. Atri has said? We can add to it the proceedings under the CP Act, Consumer Protection Act, are summary in nature. Everything is to be done in the interest of justice for both. This is applicable to both the parties. So when we are permitting to amendment of the complaint, there are judgments. So even the reply can also be permitted to be amended if it is necessary for just decision of the case. Strict
So this is,
principles of CPC will not apply, but we will have to look into the principle of natural justice as well as the principle of equity and others. All principles are to be taken care while deciding this whether reply should be permitted and what is the effect of that reply.
so Neeraj asks privately, he says, under the current scenario for preferring appeal, can filing of the certified copy of the lower court be done away so that the appeal can be filed on time?
They will have to give the reasons for that, why they are not in a position to get the certified. However, in such circumstances, it can be permitted also.
We can permit.
Because in the present circumstances, because of the COVID pandemic, the COVID-19.
Mr. Chatharath,
Yes, sir.
in the orders of consumer fora, the copies are supplied free of cost to the consumer, to the both the parties. It is not a case that he could not apply the copy. Copies are given to him. In case there is some problem, some exigency, he can seek exemption.
Another thing I want to add, OPs then do not receive the copies intentionally. Now I have suggested at the national level that this provision of getting the certified copy should be done away, or sending the copy. Rather, it should be the duty of the decree holder as well as the complainant as well as the opposite party to get this copy at their own level. Because it is in the interest of the opposite party. If there is a delay in delivery of copy, then he will have more time to file appeal also. Rather, intentionally they are not receiving.
So this is by, yes,
we get back the copies.
This is by Inspiron. I don't. If fee is paid for certain services to public body, that is government organizations, is consumer complaints maintainable for deficiency in services?
Fee, if it is statutory fee, then it can't be. Then this will not come under the Consumer Act. Now another, which earlier there was a view of the Supreme Court, say Gumada. Extension fee, non-construction charges were statutory charges provided under the Punjab Urban Development Authority Act. Now the Supreme Court has said consumer fora can also look into it. Earlier we were not in a position to decide cases because earlier the Supreme Court judgment was that you cannot go into it. Now we can examine what is the relationship of that fee, whether it is directly related to the statutory fee or something else.
Vaibhav Khankolkar, he's from Bombay. He says, can legal heirs be brought on record if the applicant is deceased? Number
Yes.
two,
Yes.
while using online portal, they state that all disputes to be filed on in specific state or union territory, only this. Is there a binding clause when we order online? What are the modes of execution of decree? He has three questions primarily.
So, online still we are not taking up because there is no online filing in our state commission.
But in my commission, we are receiving online along with the hard copy.
To the participants, we are just clarifying. Justice Dhaliwal is heading
Party
Punjab
may
State
apply
Consumer Redressal,
Yeah,
and
so
Justice Khatri is on UT. So
Yes.
that is the subtle difference. Though both are in Chandigarh based, but both jurisdiction and forums are different. I'm just clarifying for the participants since we are having participants pan India. I'm just clarifying for that part. Nitin Thatai, what allegations of forgery and reviewing of forged documents can be entertained? Whether, I stand corrected, whether allegations of forgery and reviewing of forged documents can be entertained and adjudicated by consumer fora?
Yes, yes, it can be. Supreme Court has already said because these forums are headed by district judges
yes,
at the forum level and the High Court judges at the commission level. They can go into this also. But
Even the-
where forgery requires elaborate evidence where cross-examination is required, etc., in those cases, the matter can be referred to the civil court also.
Yes. Yes. Same view.
Mr. Thatai, I have decided the case in this case. Perhaps he may be the counsel in that case.
Sometimes one is on the wrong side of the law, not on that.
Yes. It is, I think this is Mr. Randhawa, SS Randhawa, because the proposal form, part of the proposal form signatures were forged and fabricated. And they have brought the opinion of the experts. Both parties were given opportunity to lead their specific evidence. I think Mr. K.S. Chima is the counsel.
Mr.
Insurance company.
Chathar,
Yes, sir.
I'm agreeing with my brother. But I want to add here that in the famous judgment of Dr. J.J. Merchant and others versus Srinath Chaturvedi, Supreme Court said that the State Commission, National Commission, other district form are headed by a judicial background president. They can tackle all implicated and complicated questions. Forgery may also be part of that.
So this is by Ravi from Bombay. He says, can Consumer Forum lift the corporate veil, and to what extent?
Yes, we can.
So far, in my opinion, so far as the complaints are concerned, we will have to go by whatever is available evidence. We decide. So far as the decree is concerned, for execution of decree, we can always lift the veil and pierce it to find out whether anything has been done to defraud the creditor, decree holder. This can be done. This is my opinion.
Yes, same opinion.
Mr. Krishnan Sivaram, he has posted the question on the private chat. During this pandemic, if the factory is closed for 3 months, and if a factory has taken workman compensation policy for the contract labors, and the policy has expired during the pandemic, can the it should have been, should the insurance policies, should the insurance companies be directed to extend the policy for 3 months at free of cost, as various state pollution control boards is extending the consent for 3 months without any further fee?
No, this is not an issue because there is no provision for issuing directions under the Consumer Protection Act. They should have to approach the Honorable High Court or the Supreme Court for this purpose. Not for this is not, this cannot be, in my opinion, be directed by the Consumer Forum because there is no provision for that. We are only deciding the services and deficiencies.
Mr. Chathar,
Yes, sir.
extending consent is a different aspect under different law. But extending the validity of the insurance policy is entirely different. It can't be extended.
This is by Vaibhav Khankolkar. He says, my second question was slightly, he pinpoints to me that it has been misunderstood. I will unmute Mr. Vaibhav itself. Udip, when the complainant files complaint, proper proof of residence should be obtained. Similarly, when the OPs appear, complete address with proof and name as well as address of party responsible for working be directed to be placed on record with proof. As in the appellate stage or at the execution stage, many times service is not done. This is his suggestion.
That's right. Suggestion is welcome. But we cannot force for this purpose because there is no statutory provision for this. We will have to go by complainant can give a address, say his PAN card or the what we call it Aadhaar card may be of Amritsar. Now he may be residing in Chandigarh on rent. For these many complications will arise. We accept. Now if the new act is implemented, there is where anywhere can he file the complainant can file complaint anywhere. No issue of jurisdiction or residence.
Yeah, anyway. So it is by Satish Arora. We will be taking the last question. Sir, in case of builders, normally there is a delay of more than 2 to 3 years from due date, but there is no further document for continuation to show the continuation of the cause of action. How the limitation can be saved / tackled in such cases?
same, then I want to explain here. If you are asking for refund, then the limitation provisions is maximum, even civil suit can be filed within 3 years. So far as the limitation under the Consumer Act is, it is 2 years. Then the only remedy is, in my opinion, then they can file a suit for possession. Suit for possession is a continuous cause of action till it is given to him. And in the alternative, they can ask for refund.
Mr. Chathals, I want to add something. If the agreement is with regard to delivery of possession within a specific time, possession has not been delivered, then he has a right to seek refund. In that eventuality, there is no limitation and it will be a continuing cause of action.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
The questions will continue to pour on because I have found that since both of you have complemented and supplemented each other, and the way the lawyers or the persons who are participating have asked the questions which were boggling in their mind, and especially coming from the experts itself, I think at least I can share my personal experience that a lot of aspects have been actually been unlocked, and the doubts which were in the minds of the participants would
Mr.
be.
Vikas,
Yes,
there
sir.
was a question by some Ankat Bhargava. He is
Yes, sir.
asking for which is the provision. Section 17 of the rules framed under the PAPDA specifically says that the rate of interest will be 12%.
Thank you.
Tell him, sir, I can read for him. Rate
I
of,
will ask one person to post it on the chat box. Ravi, could you post that section 17 of the PAPRA Act?
yes. This section 17 is rule 17.
Rule 17. I have told Ravi is posting it.
In
Yes.
case agreement is not executed.
Yes. Meanwhile, Anuj Kohli says what has happened during this lockdown. He wants to ask if one has booked flight tickets from city A online for return journey from city A to B, and both the flights stand cancelled, and the amount refunded is less, whether the complaint will be maintainable, or I step further,
Yes.
whether it will come under the force majeure clause.
No. Force majeure clause, they can take the benefit. Complaint is always maintainable. That we will see under the what circumstances they have to do. Even if it is a force majeure, they have not availed the services.
Thank you. And
So they
Ravi,
will have to,
yes, sir.
Yes, that's right.
You can continue. I just said that Ravi Inder has been kind enough to post section rule 17 of the PAPRA Act. Yes, sir. Dhaliwal sir.
yes.
Yes. This is on the Facebook by Amit Singla. Is it mandatory to conduct a medical examination of a person before the issuance of a policy? As most of the time, either it's not done or agents of respective fields fill the proposal form of their own, or inquiry is made when claim is lodged with them.
In my opinion, which I have confirmed from the insurance officers, it depends upon the age of the person. If the age is less than 40, this is not necessary that they should carry out the medical. But if the age is more than that, they must carry out the medical before issuing a policy. And they have a specified doctors, authorized doctors who can conduct the medical on their behalf, on the behalf of the company.
Nitin Thatai gives his insights. He says, medical is to be conducted or not depends entirely upon the policy taken. Some policies, in fact, doesn't require medical test to be done.
So that is only when we are only for short term, 6 months or 7 months. If they are long term policy, they must be examined.
I want to add here also, though I am fully agree with my brother. We have to go by the conditions of the policy. Whether he was medically examined, not examined. It is up to the insurance company. When they issue the policy, we have to follow the conditions. And it can be taken as a defense by the insurance company that fellow was not examined. Thank you.
So that question on the online part, the next question, Anuj Kohli says, where would the jurisdiction ultimately lie?
I have decided in the Shyama Agarwal case, an IAS officer, it will be at the place where the email was received, where the ticket was received by email.
Yes.
It can be also filed where the respondent, that is the opposite party, resides.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So now it's 5:30, and that's what we had discussed when we had requested you to come on the platform, that we will take the session to around 1.5 hours. And the way the time flew, actually, I do not know. I'm just saying from Anuj Kohli, the flight may not have taken place, but actually the time flew actually out here. We never realized that when 1.5 hours actually had gone. And to the participants, we would be pleased to announce that when we had requested Justice Dhaliwal and Justice Attari, they were kind enough that they said that at the first outset, they would be giving us the insights on the consumer law. And subsequent, we will be having a webinar, since primarily the issues are on medical negligence and the against the builders. So we will be connecting with them again on these two issues. So thank you for the insights being given for the today. And in fact, thank you for advance. I will do the formal vote of thanks. Amongst us, we have Mr. IP Singh, who is the president of the DRT bar also, since he's an elder brother, Mac. We are unmuting him for a Mac, Mac 4. Mr. Singh, you have actually created some confusion. You have logged in as Mac, MAC, Yellow Turban. He's being an elder brother, he's also giving his insights. So unmute yourself, Singh Saab.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
We are getting delayed response.
This is saying good evening. We wish good health.
Yellow Turban.
Mr. Singh, am I audible?
So yes, again, IPG, unmute yourself, Yellow Turban.
Okay.
Yes,
this is on behalf of the team behind Law CLC, being led by energetic Mr. Vikas Chaturth, who is doing a great service to the legal fraternity by bringing many issues and enlightening us in this pandemic. And we are also thankful to both the law who have shared during their having vast experience on the bench of the Honorable High Court, and with their vast experience, they are delivering justice in the consumer courts and giving justice to everyone. And I think the Chandigarh and Punjab commissions are on the top of the list and the all India level for speedy disposal of the cases. Justice Dhaliwal has dealt with so many medical negligence cases which I have been observing also, and he is more, I would say he used to be called a doctor also by a vast experience in that. So the way he puts questions to the doctors while during the appearance out there, that shows how deep he has gone into the medical aspect also. Then, my lord, there are difficulties being faced by the lawyers also due to this coronavirus, and appearing, though we are having before the Chandigarh Commission, the online process is there by way of the VC. However, the things are not available out here in the State Commission Punjab, as Justice Dhaliwal has rightly pointed out, that the infrastructure is not there being provided, for which we have to make efforts to bring the funds from the government, and we are taking up the issue. And I would just, for your information, that the Tri-City Consumer Court Bar Association has been formed, recently, and it is in the process of registration. And the team will be assisting and seeking cooperation of the Honorable Presidents and the other members for further delivery system and for the convenience of the members also, so that the further facilities can be provided in this regard. My Lord, there is one question which I would like to ask, my Lord. With the new act which has come into force, in a way, the rules are yet to come. The provision is there that a consumer can file the complaint anywhere he is residing.
Yes.
So, in case of a project, say I say a project of a company at Chandigarh, the consumers are all over in different states, and the different state commissions will be having jurisdiction over that. Then the different judgments may come. Then what will be the fate of the that litigation, in which judgment to be followed, and there will be maybe a different judgments on that issues. And is it not, if I will say, the folly in the act to give such a vast power in that way?
No question. This question is maybe a difficult question for the purpose because there may be a harassment of the opposite party also.
Please,
This is
also.
my opinion, and I have expressed at the national level. There were seminar on that. I have told them that
That's
there
all.
should be Aadhaar card should be the basis. Because say I am residing in Chandigarh, my Aadhaar card is in Chandigarh. I am filing a complaint in Calcutta
Yes.
against the person opposite party residing in Chandigarh. In such circumstances, difficulty, then time will tell. We will look into all these aspects also.
Because it
So
won't be
far as the
possible.
so far as the judgments are concerned, it is a common. Different high courts are giving different judgment on the same subject, ultimately decided by Supreme Court. In the, similarly, whatever judgments we are giving, ultimately whatever National Commission says or the Supreme Court says, we will be that will be binding. Till that, our judgment is not say judgment delivered by a commission, that is state of Punjab. Till that is not set aside, that will be followed in those. In my opinion, this is my opinion.
Uh,
Mr. Singh,
Please, also.
it will be seen at the time of the implementation of the new act. But equally, the consumer may be a sufferer. For example, a consumer now sitting in Chandigarh, willing to settle either in Jaipur or Gurgaon or anywhere in the country. Online, he booked a plot or a house or a flat, but he had been defrauded by the fraudulent terms and conditions, or he has not been in plot. Why he be compelled to go to that place? Then he had no fault. Suppose you have booked some goods from anywhere of the country by sitting in Chandigarh. Online, it was everywhere. Why you go there to file a complaint? Then the purpose of the statute, the purpose of the act will be defeated. Suppose you booked a mobile phone for 20,000 at Chennai, then will you go to Chennai for filing? That will be seen when the act will came into force. I think it has both sides. It may harass the opposite party, it may not, and also it may help the consumer.
But where the projects are there, Malad, there should be some, I think in the rules, they should provide something that where the projects are there, in such situation, it should be confined to as the earlier, the head office, branch office, or the cause of action. Not that one build, then it won't be possible for a builder, I will say, to represent in 20 states.
Even in the present also, there is a provision clause thirdly that where cause of action or part of cause of action has accrued. While booking, making payment from Chandigarh to any other place, it is also a part of cause of action.
The one I want to add, the
No,
word branch office has also been given in the definition.
yes.
That branch office, if there is a branch office,
Branch office is also given
complaint can be filed there also.
With all this humility and my Lord, we are enlightened by this today's talk and
And
discussion.
saying sorry, no, nothing in our hand. The Parliament has passed that statute, and it obtained the assent of Honorable President of India. We're waiting for passing of the rules.
I may inform
This is
you.
only this is only a part of discussion only. That
Yeah.
we are discussing on the consumer law,
It is
and
beyond
this is
discussion.
what came in
Mr.
my mind. So that is
Mr.
what we are
IP
discussing.
Mr. IP Singh, I want to make aware one thing more.
Please, Your Worship.
Under the Motor Vehicle Act, the jurisdiction of the claimant is anywhere.
Please, Your Worship.
Now, after long time, now the Parliament has amended it. Even the limitation period has been reduced.
Please, Your Worship. My lord,
The
insurance,
Similarly, with passage of time, if there's some difficulty arises, this will also be changed.
this will have to be, because the insurance companies have their offices all over India. A person having a project that will be confined to one city, he cannot be dragged to all over India for litigation. That is a concern which has to be seen. This is only a point of discussion only.
Okay.
Yes, this is a discussion only.
Yes, it is only
Ultimately,
discussion.
when the provisions will be interpreted, new act, we will see what are the provisions, how we will apply,
Yes,
what are the consequences.
that's there.
Law is dynamic.
And that's there.
It changes with time to time.
Time to time, and every day is a learning day. Every act is a new act. Every new act gives a new litigation.
Yes, yes.
Mr.
That is
Ankat, your question has been answered. Even the provision has been posted on the.
Ravi had posted that question.
Please, Your Worship.
So,
So,
as I said before, when we requested Mr. IP Singh to the effect that he should propose the vote of thanks, but be that as it may, just since as a normal ritual, we inform the participants regarding the next webinar. Before that, I would like to state that both the speakers have explained the aspects of the consumer forum in the most lucid form, and the practical aspects and the issues which ordinarily bother in the mind of a common man or a professional have been explained. And those lawyers, etc., who have not gone to the platform, and even those who are practicing regularly on the platform of District Consumer Forum, State Consumer Forum, National, large number of aspects have been dealt with, and we will be sharing the judgments of the reference of which had been given by Justice Dhaliwal and Justice Attri on our WhatsApp group. We have already shared that they could be connected on our WhatsApp group of Beyond Law CLC. Everyone stay safe, stay healthy, and tomorrow again, fortuitously, we would be having two judges from Punjab Haryana High Court to give the different insights, a topic which is on a burning aspect, and that is death penalty, retention, or its dispensation. Amongst us would be Justice S.D. Anand, a former judge of Punjab Haryana High Court. Along with him would be Justice H.S. Bhalla, again a former judge of Punjab Haryana High Court. Do stay connected. Tomorrow, 4 p.m., we will be having a webinar on this aspect. It's thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you to all the participants. Stay safe, stay healthy. Right.
Thank you.